Recording in progress.
Hello! Mabuhay! This is Teacher Lourdes, and this is your course, Methods of Research. Our lesson 11 is Qualitative Research. Our objectives are describe a qualitative research, analyze example of qualitative research, and for the student activity, we will explain qualitative research in a video and cite the difference between a quantitative research from qualitative research. Let's play jumbled letters. You can pause this video and answer in the comment section. Did you get all three correct answers? Quality, research, and explain. Let's now have the lesson proper. As I asked ChatGPT, this is my prompt. Search online to discuss the following: qualitative research, definition of qualitative research, and methods of qualitative research designs. Do not use Wikipedia and do not invent references. Cite the references after the discussion. So this is how I create a prompt, and I always tell ChatGPT to not use Wikipedia because Wikipedia is not a reliable source, and do not invent references because sometimes ChatGPT invent references, and you will cite the references after the discussion. So I just show you how I use ChatGPT for my lessons because ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence which is very helpful to us teachers and students. So now let's discuss what is qualitative research. Qualitative research is an interpretive, naturalistic approach focused on understanding social phenomena through non-numerical data such as words, behaviors, perceptions, and settings. It seeks the how and why rather than the how many or how much, making it ideal for exploring experiences, attitudes, contexts, and processes in depth. Okay, so let's see another definition of qualitative research from Google AI. Qualitative research explores an in-depth understanding of experiences, opinions, and behaviors through methods like interviews, observations, and focus groups. It aims to uncover rich contextual data, often using smaller, carefully selected samples rather than large, representative ones. Examples include understanding the experiences of working mothers, exploring the impact of social media on teenagers' self-esteem, or investigating the lived experiences of individuals with chronic pain. As for my dissertation, which is also a qualitative research, my title is Preserving the Indigenous Science and Technology of the Manide Tribe. They live in Jose Panganiban, Camarines Norte. So, my dissertation is a qualitative research since it aims to record, to document the existing and the past practices of the Manide tribe in terms of the science and technology of their tribe. So, it's a qualitative research. There is no computation. There are no there are no numerical data. Just qualitative data. So when you say quality, uh, it pertains to the value or the understanding of experiences. Okay, and when you say quantity, it pertains to numbers. Okay, so let's see the what emphasized what are emphasized in qualitative study. So in qualitative study, it emphasizes open-ended inquiry, generating rich text data from interviews, observations, and documents. It also includes studying people in natural settings to preserve authenticity and meaning. Just like what I have said in my dissertation about the Manide tribe, I will select people who have knowledge about their indigenous science and technology, and I will study them and I will record them using notes and audio and video. Okay? So, inductive reasoning builds teams and theories directly from participants' expressed experiences. And then flexibility and iteration, adjusting questions and data collection as understanding deepens, and providing a thick description. So it's quality. So there must be rich contextualized accounts that capture the complexity and nuance of your research. Okay, so let's read in Google AI. So what are the common qualitative research methods? Okay, it includes interviews, observations, focus groups, case studies, ethnography, document analysis, phenomenology, which is exploring the lived experiences of individuals related to a specific phenomenon, grounded theory, developing a theory based on data collected during the research process. So these are the methods in qualitative. So let's see the answer of ChatGPT. It's when it comes to core qualitative research designs and methods. So the number one is phenomenology. Phenomenology. It focuses on individuals' lived experiences to uncover deep meaning, employs bracketing to set aside researcher bias. So when you are researching, you must avoid biases because as researchers, we must be neutral so that we can critically analyze data. Okay? And number two is grounded theory. Inductively develops theory from data via iterative coding and constant comparison, refining research questions as the study progresses. So you can refine your research questions as you study your participants or respondents. Ethnography or field research, it involves immersive observation of cultural or social groups to understand behaviors and norms with field notes, interviews, and document analysis. So a qualitative research will take the researcher into spending much time to the participants or to the respondents so that he or she can observe the societal or cultural behaviors, norms, and other practices. So there, okay. Next is the case study. Intense case study is an intense bounded exploration of a person, group, or institution using multiple data sources for holistic contextual understanding. So, what's the difference between the case study and the ethnography? In case study, there is an intense bounded exploration of certain people, group, or institution. And the case study uses multiple data. Okay? A case study is more intense than field research. Okay? Historical study examines past events through archival documents to understand their relevance to present or future context. So, when you are conducting historical study, it is also a qualitative study because you need to examine the past events. Action research, collaborative inquiry intertwined with practical action aimed at change, often in organizational or community settings. During my last 2 years in Paracale National High School in 2021 to 2022, I have conducted two action researches which was used during the pandemic. So I am very familiar also with action research because in action research, you will identify a problem and you will do interventions to address your identified problem. Okay? So next is interpretative or phenomenological analysis or IP. IPA. It's a niche form of phenomenology focused on the meaning individuals make in particular contexts, usually with small samples. And phenomenography. It investigates the various ways people experience or conceptualize a phenomenon distinct from phenomenology. Okay? So these are the common data collection methods. First, semi-structured interviews. You will use guided but flexible question frameworks to explore participant perspectives in depth. And focus group discussion. Group-based discussions that reveal shared norms, values, or cultural views through interaction. and participant or non-participant observation. You will gather data and behavioral interactional data in the field through immersion or outside observation. Another one is document or artifact analysis. As a researcher, you will examine the text, organizational records, visual artifacts, or media to enrich understanding of context. Next is the analytic and validation techniques. First one is coding and theme identification, systematic coding of transcripts or notes to detect patterns. Triangulation, using multiple sources, methods to cross-verify findings. So when you use triangulation, you will verify your findings using several participants and resources to see if the data is the same or there are differences in the data given by the participants or the respondents. And member checking, confirming findings with participants for accuracy. Peer debriefing, audit trails, supporting credibility, dependability, and transparency. And rich descriptions. Of course, this is a qualitative research, so there must be a detailed narrative which can help transfer to other contexts. So let's see other description by Google AI. So what's the sampling in qualitative research? Qualitative research often employs purposive sampling, where participants are selected based on specific criteria relevant to the research question. Okay? Other common methods include snowball sampling, where participants refer other potential participants. Maximum variation sampling, where you will seek diverse perspectives within a group. And convenience sampling, selecting participants who are easily accessible. So, what are the key characteristics of qualitative research? First, you focus on meaning and interpretation. You will seek to understand the why and the how behind a phenomenon. And it is flexible and iterative. The research process can evolve and adapt as new information emerges. And there are smaller focus samples. Qualitative research typically involves fewer participants than quantitative research. So, if you remember our lesson in quantitative research, the example I gave has more than 500 participants or respondents. If I remember it correct, it's about 700 plus. Okay, the participants or the respondents of the quantitative study I give you in the past lesson. But in qualitative research, there are fewer participants because we are focusing on the quality, not the quantity. And rich detailed data. It focuses on in-depth understanding rather than numerical data. Subjectivity and interpretation. It acknowledges the researcher's role in shaping the research process. So let's have some examples of qualitative research topics. The impact of social media on body image among teenagers, experiences of individuals with chronic illness managing their symptoms, the role of culture in shaping educational practices, the lived experiences of refugees adjusting to a new country, or the effectiveness of a new teaching method from the perspective of the student. So those are the examples of qualitative research topics. So let's continue. Let's have this summary table. So when you say qualitative research, okay, the goal is to understand experiences, meaning, and social context. The data type is non-numerical. You only use words, images, observations, and artifacts. And the approach, it is inductive, iterative, and flexible. The key designs, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, case study, historical, and action research. Data methods, interviews, focus groups, observations, and document analysis. And quality checks, triangulation. When you use triangulation, you compare minimum of three groups and you compare the data gathered, and you check if there is a similarity between their data. Member checks, audit trail, and tick description. So by integrating these research designs and methods, qualitative research provides comprehensive context-rich understanding, especially available or valuable for exploring complex human behaviors and social phenomena. Each approach offers distinct lenses and techniques but shares core principles, depth, interpretation, and contextual meaning. So, these are my references. Okay, thank you so much for these references. And thank you so much to ChatGPT and Zoom.com and Canva.com. So let's look at this sample study titled Are You Better? A Qualitative Study of the Meaning of Recovery. I got this from Google Scholar. Okay, so let's look at it. So the abstract, the purpose of this study is to research into the meaning of illness as open focus on individuals' transition into state of being ill, for example, adoption of a sick role. The question, are you better, addresses the transition out of the state and is fundamental to patient-clinician relationship, guiding decisions about treatment. However, the question assumes that all patients have the same meaning for being better. So the methods used by this study is qualitative or grounded jury methods. Individual interviews were conducted with 24 workers, and categories were linked, comparisons were made, and jury built about how people respond to the question, are you better? So the results of their study, the perception of being better is highly contextualized in the experience of the individual. Being better is not only reflected in changes in the state of disorder, but could be an adjustment of life to work around the disorder or an adaptation to living with the disorder. The experience of the disorder can be influenced by factors such as perceived legitimacy of the disorder. So the conclusion, two patients could mean very different things when saying they are better. Some may not actually have a change in this state as measured by symptoms, impairments, or function. So that is an example of a qualitative research, but this study is a short version. Okay, so thank you so much for my references. For the student activity, okay, for the student activity, Uh, you will explain qualitative research in a 1 to 2 minute video and cite the difference of quantitative research from qualitative research. You can record yourself or you can create a PowerPoint presentation with voiceover. You will submit this output to our Google Classroom in 3 days. So I hope you learned our lesson today, and I hope you submit your output within 3 days. So this is Teacher Lourdes saying, mabuhay!